Good morning, students. I welcome you all to our lecture of SY BCom Business Economics Semester 3rd. In today's lecture, I will start with the new chapter in Module 1 known as Measurement of National Income. First of all, we will discuss what is the meaning of national income. National income of a country can be defined as the total market value of all final goods and services produced in the economy during a given year. There are three measures of national income of a country. First one, it is the sum of values of all final goods and services produced in a year. Second, it is the sum of all incomes accruing the factors of production in a year. And third, it is the sum of consumers' expenditure, net investment expenditure, and government expenditure on goods and services. The three measures of national income give rise to triple identity. All of them lead to the same result provided all the constituent items are treated consistently in the three measures. These are the features of national income. First feature is flow concept. National income is a flow concept because it is the value of goods and services produced over a period of time. Second one is value of final goods. Most goods and services pass through a series of production stages before reaching the market. National income measures the value of only final goods and services produced in an economy during a given period. The intermediate goods and services are not included because their inclusion may amount to double counting, resulting in an overestimation of the national income. Third feature is macroeconomic concept. It is a macroeconomic concept because national income reveals the income of the economy as a whole rather than of an individual. Fourth one is monetary measure. National income is a monetary measure because the value of goods and services are expressed in terms of money. Fifth one is adds net exports. In an economy which is open to international trade, net exports, that is, exports minus imports, should be added to arrive at a national income. Sixth is measure of economic progress. National income accounting is a very practical method of collecting information about the performance of the economy. National income is a measure of economic progress. Economic growth is generally associated with the increase in national income. So, all these are the features of national income. Importance of national income analysis. Now we will discuss importance of national income analysis. First one is measures of economic performance of countries. In the absence of any alternative measurement, the value of national output and its growth have become standard performance indicators of countries. Countries are ranked on the basis of the size and growth rates of their GDP. Second one is compare standards of living. Per capita income is an indicator of how a country's national income is distributed among the people. It becomes a measurement of income inequality and provides a basis for comparing standard of living of different countries. Third importance is sectoral contribution. There are three major sectors of an economy, namely primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Analysis of national income shows which sector's relative contribution is how much and how these trends have changed over time. This is used to study occupational structure, income distribution, production investment, and consumption patterns. Fourth one is the measurement of economic welfare. Changes in composition of national income over time can be an indicator to assess economic welfare. For example, if a large part of national income is generated due to defense production at the cost of education and health services, it reflects negatively on economic welfare. Fifth one is the changes in price level. National income statistics can be used to estimate trends in price level and forecast future inflationary and deflationary trends. GDP or GNP is measured at current prices and at constant prices. A comparison between the two can help in estimating price level changes. Next one is business forecast. Growth rate, trends, and other related national income measures are used by businesses to forecast future business activities. Businesses make decisions to enter markets in different countries based on those countries' national and per capita income data. Data from different time periods help businesses predict future trends and make decisions regarding investments. Next one is the global income distribution. National income data of different countries are used to determine global distribution of income and wealth. National income statistics are used to determine the level of development of different nations. This knowledge is used by international development agencies to put in place programs to reduce global inequalities. Last one is the economic planning and policies. Most governments use national income data to formulate long-term plans and medium-term policies. For example, India adopted the 5-year plans to improve the growth of national income. Now we will discuss the concepts of national income. First concept is GDP, that is gross domestic product. Now what is the meaning of GDP? It is the money value of final goods and services produced within the domestic territory of the country during the given period of time, a quarter or a year. GDP is the output produced within the domestic territory, regardless of whether it is produced by the country's factors or not. Now here we have to see the two equations, that is in open economy and closed economy. In an open economy, the GDP is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. X minus M, that is net export, that is export minus import. Next formula is given, that is related with closed economy. The concept of closed economy rules out international trade and there is no increase in the total production, consumption and capital formation which otherwise would take place due to international trade. So here the formula is GDP is equal to C plus I plus G. C, consumption expenditure on domestically produced goods. I, investment expenditure or gross capital formation. G, government expenditure on goods and services. Second concept is gross national income and gross national product. GNI is the money value of final goods and services produced by the country's factors of production wherever they are located during a given period of time. In other words, when the net factor incomes from abroad are added to GDP, we get GNI, and GNI is equivalent to GNP, that is gross national product. Now how to calculate GNI? GNI is equal to GDP plus net factor income from abroad. Now what is mean by net factor income from abroad? Now some of the countries' national output may be produced by the factors owned by the foreigners or by the foreign owned firms. Similarly, some of the domestic factors or domestically owned firms may be producing output in a foreign country. When we make a provision for the above factors, we can get a measure of domestic output produced within the country, or we can get a measure of the output produced by the economy's factors of production wherever they are located. And the difference between these two measures is expressed in terms of net factor income from abroad. So net factor income from abroad is equal to R minus P. So the formula we get, that is GNI is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M plus R minus P. R stands for income received by the domestic factors for their contribution to production abroad, and P is for payments made to the foreign factors for their contribution to production in the domestic economy. So this is the concept which is known as gross national income and gross national product. Moving next, third concept is net national income and net domestic product. Now the NNI and NDP are calculated by subtracting depreciation from GNI and GDP respectively. Now here the depreciation is an allowance for the amount of capital that has been used up for the production of national output. In the process of production, some capital such as equipments, machines, etc. are worn out, which is called depreciation or capital consumption. In the calculation of national income, some allowance should be made to replace the equipments worn out during the process of production, and that is depreciation. The investment made for the replacement of worn out capital does not lead to an increase in the productive capacity in the economy. When no allowance is made for depreciation, the resulting total is referred to as gross output, income, or expenditure. And when an allowance is made for depreciation, we arrive at a net amount. We get the formula NNI is equal to GNI minus depreciation, and NDP is equal to GDP minus depreciation. Next one is personal income. Now personal income is the sum of all income actually received by all individuals or households in the country during a given year. National income refers to income earned by the people. All the incomes earned by the people, such as social security contributions, corporate income taxes, and undistributed corporate profits, are not received by the people. And conversely, some of the incomes received by the people, such as transfer payments, are not earned by the people. The transfer payments received by an individual should be included in his personal income while they are not part of national income. Here the formula is personal income is equal to national income plus transfer payments minus undistributed profits of corporate sector minus corporate income tax minus social security contributions. Next one is the disposable income. It is the income which is actually available to individual spend on consumption and to save. How to calculate disposable income? Disposable income is equal to personal income minus direct taxes paid by individuals. Next one is the per capita income. Per capita income is obtained by dividing national income by the population. So per capita income is equal to national income upon population. So all these are the concepts of national income. So in next lecture, I will start with the new chapter in this module. Till then, stay safe, stay home, and thank you.